with my wonderful friend, Kristen McAllister. Kristen.
Hi.
You guys, Kristen and I both have juvenile arthritis, and this is our first time, well, not today to me, but this trip here at the National Juvenile Arthritis Conference in Houston, Texas, was our first time to meet, even though I feel like I know you.
I know, that's what I was saying. I was like, the first time that I actually got to like hug you and like meet you, but we've been like on social media together so
yeah.
much. So.
I mean, I've seen videos of you and I've heard your voice, but I can't see, I'm completely blind. But I feel like I have known Kristen, and I was so excited a couple of days ago at the beginning of this conference when I got to literally hug you and touch you. Kristen has an amazing story, you guys, and I want you all to hear her story. Both of us have been really affected in a great way by juvenile arthritis. For me, you all, a lot of you know that I lost my complete eyesight 9 years ago, which began at the age of 3 from uveitis, which is arthritis of the eyes. I see nothing, no light, no nothing, and these eyes are not even real. Well, Kristen, you can see she is in a wheelchair, and Kristen has been in a wheelchair for
a little over 2 years.
And I want you to tell them what arthritis has done to you.
So, when I heard the word arthritis, before I was diagnosed, I always thought it was an old person's disease, and I might picture a wheelchair, but I never pictured myself in a wheelchair. But at the age of 10, I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis, and then I developed uveitis a few years later. I'm not even sure if you know.
I know.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with uveitis a few years after that, and luckily for me, I got my uveitis under control. That's usually a really difficult battle, and for me, luckily, that was easy to get under control. But so as some people know, the medications that people with JA and uveitis have to take, that suppresses your immune system. So for me, I got a simple urinary tract infection 2 years ago, and I went septic from it. I had a simple UTI that I think everyone at least gets one in their lifetime. So I didn't really think it was serious, but very quickly it got in my bloodstream and I was really sick. And then I was on vacation when it happened, so in North Carolina for Easter. And it was day 3 in the hospital at Duke University Hospital that my doctor came in. I was supposed to be discharged, and she said, something's telling me not to discharge you. I don't know what it is, but your heart rate's really high, and I just want to keep you. Well, an hour later, I went into a deadly heart arrhythmia, and I woke up a few hours later in the ICU, and I had no idea what had happened, but all I know is what happened after that. I lost complete feeling from my chest to my toes, and I couldn't move, and no one knew what had happened. So we did an MRI of my spinal cord, and it turned out that I had suffered a spinal cord stroke. So I was told that I was going to be paralyzed forever, and that I would never regain any function from my injury level down, which for those people who are familiar with spinal cords, my spinal cord injury is at the level T6, down, obviously down to my toes. But at the beginning of it all, I couldn't move. I couldn't pick up a cup. My arms were so weak, and I obviously couldn't move my legs. I couldn't sit up in a chair. So 2 years ago, this wheelchair that I sit in right now, I would fall over like this, and I couldn't sit up straight. Wow. Well, doctors would call it a miracle that I am now able to sit up and I can move my legs.
This is amazing. You were showing me this the other night. So you feel nothing in your legs.
I feel nothing.
Nothing. But watch what she can do. Okay, describe what.
So I will describe
for my blind viewers.
So as we mentioned, I have no feeling in my legs, and 2 years ago I had no movement, so I couldn't even wiggle a toe. Well, now I can move my right leg, and I'm moving I'm sitting with my leg kind of bent, and I'm moving my lower part, my knee down, I'm moving it. And then I can also let me see. So my foot's right here, I'm gonna take my shoe off.
Okay, she took her shoe off.
So I'm moving my toes right now.
Amazing.
Yes. yes.
How do you do that?
Well, I remember they told me that, they came in and told me, my parents, that I would never walk again. And I remember saying to my parents that, you know, I've been through too much, and I fought so hard to keep my function and my mobility before this paralysis happened to me, with the JA. And I was like, I'm not gonna let that be taken away from me. I am gonna fight, and I told my parents, I said, I don't care if it takes 10 years, I will walk again. And I went on Google. They say don't Google anything, but I Googled and I said, is it possible to walk after a spinal cord injury? And there were lots of posts that came up that said, my doctor said I'd never do this, but I'm doing this. And I was like, you know what, that will be me. And you know, there are more posts that were, you know, I never regained movement, but I picked out the 2 people that said they did, and I was like, I'm gonna be one of those.
You focused on the positive?
Absolutely, yes. And so with my parents' help, we went to the best spinal cord injury center in the United States, which is called the Kennedy Krieger Institute, and their slogan is hope through motion. So they believe that no matter how bad a spinal cord injury is, no matter what, they believe that the more that reteaching the body how to move is powerful and will help you regain function. Now, they can't tell you you're definitely going to walk again, but they will be with you until you meet the goals you want to meet. And I'm proud to say that with their help, I am doing the impossible.
You are. Which
is, I can stand up and take steps with a walker, and it is known as a miracle, but to me it's just, I feel like every kid with JA, every person with JA, everybody that suffers from uveitis, all of us are miracles in some way, and I wouldn't be able to do this without my JA and uveitis family. I wouldn't be here.
You are truly so strong, Kristen. And the other night,
we were just gonna say what we talked about. Yeah.
So the other night, it was so sweet. We were sitting
in the hospital.
We were sitting and just talking, and I was just like, you know, Kristen, it's amazing. You and I both have been so affected from this disease, and I can't see. You can't walk.
Right. You can walk. I can see.
Yeah. And even though our challenges is a word, yeah.
Straight ahead.
Okay. Even though our challenges are different, they're both very challenging, and you know,
we can relate in such a, like, even though blindness and paralysis is so very different. When I was in the hospital for 157 days, I'd watch her videos, and I was like, if she can get out and she can travel the world and go on adventures, I can do it too.
You watch my videos in the hospital.
Oh, yeah, all the time. That's why we were just talking about. I was like, so in this video, how did this work? And this video, how did this work?
And it's so amazing that I played a part in you getting up and, you know, pushing yourself to move forward and not letting your arthritis and your paralysis keep you from believing that there's so many greater things in store for you that you can do, and not focusing on what you can't do.
Right.
And you're proving everyone, doctors, you're proving them wrong, Kristen. And it was difficult for Kristen, this JA conference, you said.
It was a little difficult. I was afraid that when I came to conference that I would have a moment that I didn't feel like I fit anymore, that I didn't feel like I belonged because I would feel so different, or that I would come here and see everyone doing things that I can't do anymore, and I would feel like I would go through the grieving process all over again of using the use of my legs. And what I came to find out is the exact opposite. We all have different struggles. We might have the same exact diagnosis, but we do not deal with the exact same things. Each person has their own struggle. Mine's paralysis, Joyce's blindness, Isabella's is something else, Georgiana's something else. We all have something different, and we can all learn from one another, and I just think that's what makes us such an awesome big family.
Mm-hmm. And just as, you know, having each other, it is encouraging. You have inspired me, and you know, everyone here. I've talked to so many of our friends are sitting right here, and these kids have all inspired me. And I mean, they were just showing us their ports. Kristen has a port right here in her chest. And Jake and Hannah are over here, our friends, sister and brother, and they're 13 and 15 years old. They both have ports. Another friend, they have to get, you know, infusions all the time, and the things that you guys all we all go through. These challenges, they're great, but you should hear, like, just our, you know, you hear our attitude, even though we have our moments, and we just move past them and we keep fighting. Right. We have to keep fighting, and I just love that you're continuing to choose joy. Isn't that your thing too? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Wasn't that one of your things? Remember a couple conferences ago, you couldn't come, but your sister got you a T-shirt and you said choose joy.
Yes, absolutely. It's always, I think that's another thing that we can all learn from one another in this big family that we have, is that, you know, happiness and joy is such a choice. We can, you know, we can choose to wake up and we can choose to stay in bed and be like, life is so hard. I don't want to get in my wheelchair. It's so much harder. If I could just walk to the bathroom, that would be so much easier. But you know, you have to make that choice, because it doesn't matter if you have a visual disability or you don't. You have the ability to change the life and perspective of someone, and I think that's I think that's why Joy and I and other people are given these disabilities, so that we can do that.
And we're making a difference, and that gives me purpose and fulfillment, and knowing that, you know, we're being life changers, and we each have that opportunity. No matter what challenge you face, it might not be arthritis or blindness, it could be anything else, and we all have a disability, and we all have that choice to allow our disability, our challenges to make a difference in other people's lives. You know, focus on the good.
Absolutely, it's always there. It's always there. And
friendship comes from that love. Yes. And you're a family, and I love you, Kristen. I love you. So blessed for you. I'm going to be praying for you. You guys keep Kristen in your prayers.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see. She's about to possibly move to New York. Yes. And pursue her theater career. Yeah. And do other things. I don't know. The sky's the limit. I believe with you, Kristen.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what God is going to do for you. All right, thanks you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye. God bless.